Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the channel. I'm Stylosis. So what I'm going to show you in this video is highly dodgy. These are Sombra bugs. These are game-breaking Sombra bugs that need to be fixed really fast. Now, I'm not going to show you how to do them, but obviously I'm going to show you like the impact of them, and I'll show you the clips from the guys that found these issues. These are really, really bad. So the first one we've got is from a guy on Twitter called My Name is Cosmic, and he says there's a bug with Sombra's translocator which allows you to teleport to where her translocator is as any hero you want. Please watch out for people that might potentially be abusing this. It needs to be fixed. So you can see him doing this in the video. Now, what are the problems with this? How could you abuse this? Well, at first, I was like, well, that actually isn't really that good, right? Why would you... Like, you have to run back to the spawn. You can deploy the translocator, run back to the spawn, and then you can teleport. The thing is, you could be Widowmaker, and you could just throw the translocator behind the enemy lines as they spawn, and then... well, teleport yourself as Widowmaker behind the enemy and then just start killing them. That is really bad. That needs to be fixed. That is a horrific bug. The next bug we've got, now this was a YouTube video, and check this out. This is Sombra inside the car. Now, we've seen this before, Sombra inside the car. It's a thing which has happened before. There are ways of doing this. It's not great. Often they get patched out. This needs to be patched out because this is really bad. Because this is something you can do to just completely shut the game down. This is much worse than the Sombra translocator bug. I mean, I guess this still is a translocator bug, but this again is something which is going to affect the game in a pretty bad way. So this is something that, well, it really needs to be fixed. So these are really huge Sombra bugs that are in the game right now. I implore you guys not to try and replicate them. I mean, you might be thinking, well, Sty, why the hell are you showing us this and then telling us not to replicate? I'm showing it for awareness because people need to know. So we need to get this fixed. All right, awesome. Okay, so next up, I want to talk about a tweet I made last night. Now, this was about the, well, I'll show you guys it. So this was about Scoreboard. Now, the reason why I made this tweet is I was having a lot of games where I was getting a load of hate aimed towards me, like, oh my god, this Ana player is so bad, this Moira is so bad, they're not healing and all this, but I actually was. And so it got me thinking, why are these players deciding to hate on the healer? Now, I know this is like an age-old thing with Overwatch. It's like, hate on the healers, they're so bad. But it works the other way, right? People hate on the DPS, they hate on the tanks, whatever. The problem is there's a lot of misinformation, isn't there? There isn't really any information, so you don't really know what's actually going on with your teammates. So you don't really have a way to direct the, let's say, constructive feedback towards them. So I made this tweet. Now, yeah, this is interesting. I said, one day, I'll live to see a fully detailed scoreboard in Overwatch. Elims, final blows, damage done, healing, assists, damage absorbed, deaths. All accessible from tab for the entire server. It would cure so many issues. And then there was a response from the Doctor is in. Now, it's actually pretty good because this shows you the other side of the argument. So what he says is this: no, it won't, dude. It'll just give people a reason to flame and target specific people who might be underperforming because of one of their teammates. I can't count the number of times I've seen Ryan players complain about not having gold damage, elims, no healing, whilst feeding like F. Now, yeah. All right, so there's a response by Zane to this, and he says leaderboards will fix the assumptions and toxicity issues. You cannot wait in Overwatch until something happens. That's the reason why many people lose at spawns or stop trying. If our DPS needs to change or help with leaderboards, oh, he's underperforming, how can we fix this? And then the Doctor responds to this with, just because I'm interested, why do you think a metric which incentivizes individual play would be a good thing for team game when someone is underperforming? It isn't as simple as saying they're shit or they're countered. Now, the problem I've got, and this was the reason for the tweet, like I said, is if you're playing in a game and nothing is dying, like if you're a Reinhardt, let's use the example from the Doctor is in. If you're Reinhardt and you've got gold damage, that is very bad. Like, there's only a few situations where that could probably happen. That would be things like Rialto first point defense. If the enemy never really get round the corner and you're constantly swinging into them. Or maybe on command center, or control center, Lijiang, right? Somewhere where it's always going to be close combat and maybe the enemy team are running tanks, you're running in and just swinging your hammer. You've got a Moira and like an Ana just healing the crap out of you, right? If you've got gold damage then, all right. In every other situation, that is really bad. Like, that wouldn't be because the Ryan player's bad. Yes, he might be, let's say, just feeding his brains out and dying all the time and over-aggressive, but the DPS should have the gold damage. That means there's a problem with the DPS. But as this player has said, like, he blames, like, well, what the hell? The Ryan player was feeding because he had gold damage. He might not be, though, right? It might be because the Genji and the Tracer are playing really bad. This is the problem. It's too much misinformation. We can sit here all day and we could be like, well, you could look at it this way. well, you can look at it that way, this way, that way, and you can just go round and round in circles. It really is frustrating. But let me just explain what I think one of the positive reasons for the scoreboard could be. So if I've got a team and we're not really getting anywhere, maybe we're struggling with just about winning team fights, and you start looking at the scoreboard and you notice you've got like a Genji or any DPS, it doesn't matter, and they've died maybe 10 times and got 2 eliminations. That is not great. That means that player isn't really playing too well. But here's the other thing, right? That player may have done things which have caused the team to actually win. And this goes on to the metric, which is untraceable, unviewable, and it affects a lot of tank players, but it also affects other players as well, is the creation of space enabling your teammates to do the damage. This is why something like a scoreboard will always have a bit of a problem. But we've still got a scoreboard in the game right now. Don't forget, the medal system is a scoreboard, a really watered-down version of it. And you can see by the response the Dr. Izin has made, I've seen Ryan players complain about having gold damage and limbs no healing whilst they were feeding. Were they really feeding, though? You know what I mean? It's like, maybe they were actually playing really well, but the DPS wasn't playing too great. Maybe he was feeding. We'll never know. This is the big problem with Overwatch. And again, it does come down to, this is a team game. So you do need to play together as a team. And when you look at the things that Blizzard introduced into the game, almost all of it is designed to push you towards playing together as a better team, trying to work out problems together. Because there isn't a secret formula to winning Overwatch games. Right up until the very highest end of the ladder, right? We're talking like 4.2k plus, right? Which hardly anybody will ever see. At that point, individual player skill really will matter. If you've got the best Genji and the other team have got the second best Genji, then you win the game. At every other level, so everybody else that plays the game, it's just about beating the enemy team with a better team. And all that means is a better team comp. Maybe you have counterpicked the enemy. So if the enemy have got a hamster and he's rolling in like crazy, but your team have got let's say a Reaper and a Roadhog. Well, Roadhog's really good at shutting down Hammond, because Hammond comes in, Roadhog just hooks him in, and like, what's he going to do? Or even worse, you've got a Roadhog and a Sombra. So Sombra just hacks him as soon as he lands, Roadhog hooks him in, and then he's dead. He can't even escape. That is countering the hero. That is absolutely, he needs to change. So the team needs to go, well, guys, we probably need to change the Hammond. The big problem with Overwatch, and it's been the problem for like 3 years, is how do you communicate that to your team? If you're playing Hammond, and I say to you, hey, my friend, you're getting destroyed by Sombra and Roadhog, could you please swap? You then say to me, well, F you, Stylo, so you're an absolute blah, 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 blah. I'm going to report you, and then I leave voice comms, and then I just carry on doing what I'm doing. That's what happens in Overwatch. And this is why the game gets really frustrating at times, and it's really sad. So things to fix that, LFG kind of does fix that a little bit, but LFG is kind of really underutilized. Definitely at Masters and above, which just it is kind of sad, right? It does have a use. I'd like to see it be built upon. Maybe it will in the future. You guys let me know what you think about this in the comments below. I mean, like I said at the start of the video, Sombra bugs, they've got to be fixed. But what do you think about a more detailed scoreboard? It's a very interesting debate, isn't it? I don't think there's one clear answer. All right, guys, I'm Salosa. This is Unit Lost. If you enjoyed the video, then like the video. Remember, you can follow me on Twitter, which is @UnitLostGaming, and I will catch you lot on the next one. Toodaloo.